Where did our universe come from? Cosmologists believe our existence is the product of natural laws acting randomly over billions of years following the Big Bang. That differs considerably from the biblical account of creation. Unfortunately, skeptics, agnostics, and atheists treat the Bible's explanation as nothing more than a fanciful tale or a myth. It's said to be fine for theologians or religious philosophers, but much too unscientific for any realistic consideration. In this video, I'd like to challenge that point of view. Genesis chapter 1 makes it clear that the physical universe and everything in it are a result of creation according to the command and will of God. Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 4 adds the fact that what is seen was not made out of things which are visible. Prior to God's creative acts, nothing physical existed, and yet God existed. This was discussed in my video entitled, What is God? From that video, we learned that God is a spirit dwelling in another realm, and from that spiritual realm brought forth all physical things. So how could God create something out of nothing? Perhaps an illustration may help us gain a greater appreciation and respect for how it is possible even in our physical domain. To do that, I'd like to first of all consider the world we live in. It consists of three spatial dimensions that can be illustrated on a simple cube. There we can see a dimension of height, up, down, if you will. There's a dimension of width, left and right, but there's also a third dimension, and that's one of depth, forward and backward. But now what I'd like you to do is imagine with me a different world, a totally different world, one that is based on only two dimensions, height and width. In 1884, Edwin Abbott published a work entitled Flatland, a romance of many dimensions that was based on a similar setting. This two-dimensional world describes a flat surface that is simply a plane, like the flat wall in your house. Let's call our new world Plane World, populated by plain man and plain woman. Now these plain people can move up and down if they jump, or they can move from left to right across the width of Plane World, but that's all they can do. Now, what if this two-dimensional plane world actually exists in a three-dimensional space? That would mean Plane World is encompassed by another realm, a realm that includes depth and represents a totally new dimension. This higher dimension is unseen by the plane people. They are simply unaware of it. But the truth is that this unseen realm of depth does exist. Now suppose the creator of Plane World, who dwells in this higher three-dimensional space, decides to create something new in Plane World. What might this creative event look like? It might look just like this. Suddenly, a tree and a rock appear on a new plot of land between two walls separating Plane Man and Plane Woman. How did it happen? Let's view the same creative event slowly in three dimensions. We now can see that the additions to Plane World actually came from the three-dimensional realm. Through a portal in two-dimensional space, new substance entered Plane World from the unknown and unseen dimension of depth. Because the plane people exist only in this two-dimensional space of height and width, they have no knowledge or awareness of this third dimension that we call depth. To them, something was created from nothing. So what conclusions can be made? First of all, creation from a higher dimensional space is indeed possible. And secondly, to someone dwelling in that lower dimensional realm, it would be creating something from nothing. Now let's compare this to what modern science has to say. Scientists use the Big Bang model to track the evolving history of the universe, but not its origin. Tracing the path of our expanding universe backward in time to discover the source eventually leads to a singularity. There, the density and temperature would become infinite. Near this singularity, the laws of physics break down, so the scientific explanation for the Big Bang is unknown. To study the origin of the Big Bang, cosmologists have pursued several alternatives. These theories share at least one thing in common. They appeal to the existence of other hidden spatial dimensions. These higher order dimensions arise out of attempts to develop a unified field theory, or the so-called theory of everything, to bridge the gap between quantum mechanics and general relativity. Superstring theory is one such proposal. It has 6 higher dimensions added to the known dimensions of width, height, and depth. These 6 extra dimensions are assumed to be curled up or compactified, invisible to us so that we never perceive them. Armed with this invisible realm of hidden dimensions, scientists have proposed mechanisms for the source of what we think of as the Big Bang. One view suggests that our 3D world burst into being when a star in a higher order 4-dimensional space collapsed into a black hole. In another view, the cosmos was never compacted into a single point. Rather, the source is said to be the result of a collision between our 3-dimensional universe and another parallel 3-dimensional universe existing in another realm invisible to us. So let's summarize. The Bible and science both attribute the source of our universe to another unseen realm. While scientists call it an invisible, higher-order spatial dimension, Christians refer to it as the spiritual realm. Although the descriptive words are different, the idea is the same. Despite this similarity, the Christian belief is singled out and ridiculed for being unscientific and unrealistic. The inconsistency and unfairness in this characterization is striking. There is yet another point to be made. Our realm of 3 spatial dimensions is populated by intelligent living beings, humans. If other hidden dimensions do exist, as scientists suggest, then why couldn't an intelligent being exist in that realm also? A superior being capable of creating a universe in lower dimensional space. I contend that science itself, by its own pursuits, have made that a reasonable possibility. It is time for more people to hear the truth. Does this mean human beings are just another feature of the universe, no more significant than anything else? Not hardly. That will be the subject of another video. I hope you have found this to be an informative discussion. It is material that is seldom presented and yet vitally important. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with others. Remember, the truth transforms. For those interested in learning more, please check out my website at thetruthtransforms.com. There you will find additional information and resources. I also invite you to take a look at my book entitled A Debt I Cannot Pay. It is available from the publisher Westbow Press or from Amazon and any of the other online retailers.